Never before in the history of the United States military did one group of dedicated men and women make such a difference in the culture and atmosphere of the armed forces. It was the right time, the right place, and the right people. Dedicated to their country, yet constrained by antiquated segregation laws, which up until this time dominated how U.S. forces lived and fought. But World War II would provide an unexpected opportunity, primarily because of our nation's need for increased minority participation during a time of national emergency. And they came, determined young men whose contributions would become legendary and known specifically by the name of the school where they trained. They were the Tuskegee Airmen, and they were at the forefront of our country's progressive integration initiatives. Representing those airmen this evening are Lee Archer, the Tuskegee Airmen's ace, and Roscoe Brown, one of only 15 pilots to shoot down the famed Me-262 German jet fighter. Roscoe's P-51 Mustang Bunny of the renowned Red Tails sits in your San Diego Air and Space Museum. But change was not easy, because up until the Tuskegee experiment, black and white soldiers served in separate units. How these airmen would ultimately interact while fighting side by side with other combat units set the stage for future integration. The courage and devotion to their country began a process which was critical to removing the stigma associated with race and acknowledge the ethnically diverse makeup of the United States. It was early in 1941 when the Roosevelt administration responded to public pressure to increase assignments of black service members to more challenging duties. The President ordered the War Department to create an all-black flying unit known as the 99th Fighter Squadron. The Tuskegee Institute, a well-known all-black college in Alabama, was chosen as the training center. The location choice was easy. The institute was already home of a civilian pilot training school. Dubbed the Tuskegee experiment by many, there were some people who did not believe it would succeed. What made the difference was the quality of the people joining this elite unit and their dedication to our nation. They were Americans, they were dreamers, they knew clearly who they were and what they could accomplish. They became the soul of the Tuskegee Airmen, pilots, navigators, bombardiers, maintenance technicians, and instructors. While the 99th Squadron was engaged in the Mediterranean theater, the 332nd Fighter Group, composed of 3 squadrons, was training in the United States. This group was under the command of Benjamin Davis, Jr., who would many years later become the first black American general in the United States Air Force. The 99th Squadron was later assigned to the 332nd. The group briefly flew the P-47 Thunderbolt before transitioning to the higher performance P-51 Mustang. It would be in the Mustang that the Tuskegee Airmen would earn their reputation as the Red Tail Angels, while escorting bombers deep into enemy territory. Because of their eagerness to engage the enemy in combat and stay close to protect their big friends, the bombers, the Red Tails were often requested by bomb groups to serve as their escorts. By the end of the war, the Tuskegee Airmen had indeed compiled an outstanding combat record, destroying well over 100 German aircraft. In all, 992 pilots were trained at the Tuskegee Institute from 1940 to 1946, and 150 Tuskegee Airmen lost their lives in the defense of their country. An all-black B-25 bomb group was also forming in the United States, but the war ended prior to its combat assignment. We are joined this evening by Bob Maxwell, San Diego Air and Space Museum board member, one of those pilots. The Tuskegee Airmen had clearly proven their doubters wrong. Their courage, outstanding record of accomplishment, and superb performance during World War II had demonstrated black service members could serve with equal distinction. Historians credit President Harry Truman's 1948 executive order, which directed equality of treatment and opportunity for all in the United States Armed Forces, to the Tuskegee Airmen's superb combat performance. This order led to the end of racial segregation in the military. In 2007, the Tuskegee Airmen were presented the prestigious Congressional Gold Medal for their contribution to equality for all people. For exceptional achievement as an elite unit within the Armed Forces of the United States, primarily responsible for advancing the opportunities of minority service members and for outstanding air combat performance in World War II in the defense of the United States, the San Diego Air and Space Museum takes great pleasure inducting the Tuskegee Airmen into its International Aerospace Hall of Fame.